Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome to the show on a brand new week, the start of a new week. It's a Monday morning, and we're glad to have you here with us today. And if you're feeling like this is the beginning of the week and you really can't get out of bed, please do, because you know the beginning of a week is the start of so many new things, right, Banu?
Absolutely right, spot on. I love your intro, Amaya. Perfect as ever, just the way you look today. It's a brand new week, as Amaya said. So welcome to MTV Sports. Good morning, Sri Lanka. It is indeed the best morning show, breakfast show in town and in the country. So without much ado, I will say hello to our next guest. Well, this individual has been with us after our show relaunched a couple of months back. He is a legend in the field, nay, a legend killer. He is a chef, he is an artist, and he is much, much more than that. He's a writer, and words cannot help me to describe how awesome this particular person is. So he is known by the name Kolu. Please welcome Kolu. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Welcome to
How
the show.
are you? Yeah.
Thank you. It's a nice Monday and tomorrow's a holiday, so it's even better.
Welcome back, we should say.
I think a lot of people might have, taken the Monday off as well, and they're maybe chilling at home and having a good time, taking a long weekend.
I'm sure a long weekend, it's a nice way to spend it. I think lots of people enjoy when there's a gap and they can just take an extra day.
Extra day off.
It's holidays for the kids, and so it's holiday time.
But that's the great part about living in Sri Lanka, isn't it?
There's so many holidays.
There's so many holidays.
we hold a record for that in the world, I think.
I'm sure we do, actually. But tell us how you start off the morning, and also what you do, what you have for breakfast.
Well,
Share with us.
Share with you what I have a breakfast. I'll tell you something. I'm not a very good morning person.
Oh.
Right, so you should be happy that I'm here. What happens is that, well, I get up at whatever time I want. I don't fix any appointments till after 11, that's for sure. Unless it's very, very urgent, I do not fix appointments till after 11. So I always say I'm busy till 11. But I just get up and I just want to walk around, and then I have my coffee, and I always have string hoppers for breakfast every day.
Really?
Yeah. String hoppers, pearl sambal, and kiri hodi. I love that. So that's my breakfast every day.
That's an amazing combination that I think everyone loves. Who doesn't love a good string hopper with a good kiri hodda?
Where did that love start for string hoppers?
I love Sri Lankan food, but it's much easier than, going to get... So let's put it like this.
Yeah.
We have a lovely little kade next door which supplies it. Not that nobody's squeezing string hoppers at home or making pearl sambal for me.
Okay.
Right? It's much easier. I live alone, so it's much easier to get somebody to bring it across for me than me having to make them or get anyone to make it for me.
All right.
So being Kolu is a full-time job, isn't it? And you are well known in Colombo circles. You're well known all over the country, I'm sure. So tell us, when you walk on the street, do people come up to you and say, I read this recipe of yours, or I saw you on this particular show and you were great? What's it like being a celebrity?
I don't know about being celebrity part of it, but it's fun sometimes, because it's always nice, because especially if you're in a supermarket or something, someone will come and ask, is this a good ingredient to use? Or we saw this program which you had done, or we have read your book and we'd like to know whether this product is good or that chocolate is better. So it's kind of fun, actually, And occasionally get a stare or two from one people, because they have, so my column having something about them or something. So there are one or two, who are not even supposed to be hinted at, but they take it personally. So can't help. So there are ups and downs, but it's a lot of fun.
But your love affair with food started at a very young age, I'm sure.
Yes.
Going way back. What's the most defined love moment that you've had with food?
Defined love moment with food. There are many in that case, because it has been a period of, because it's strange, though I started actually with cakes.
All right.
And sweets.
Okay.
Now I don't even rarely do a cake. I just have some of my old clients who said, please, it's our 40th wedding anniversary. So you can imagine how long I've been baking cakes. You have to do this cake which we did so many years back for us, for our... So then I really do it. Other than, I really don't know why I got off making cakes, but I actually started my career by baking cakes.
So you started out with wedding structures, isn't it? And you actually
No,
did that,
that is after the cakes and the decoration started. Then I learned how to do the art of roses and all. It was not like those days. Those days you actually had to do a lot of work to. Now there are molding, icings and all kinds of newfangled things which make it very easy. Anybody can do it. But those it was an art. Sadly, that part of the art is they're losing in cooking because they're making, which is one way good and one way bad, because you don't find true artists now. They make all kinds of molds and they mold anything, exotic flowers. Sometimes the roses look like cabbages also. They're so hideous sometimes, overdone also, So those it was a real labor of love when you did something like that.
So I guess now you've moved on to different things and you've expanded, and your tastes have maybe they are different now from when you were 16.
Yeah.
But
Well, I had expanded this way also with my waist also, Yeah, so it has been I started when I was about 15. My first time I sold something I was 15 plus, so it's not bad. So now I'm 53, so it's a long journey.
oh, and what an amazing journey it has been. Now we'll go into some of the moments you've had in that journey and the checkpoints. But before that, now you spoke about your day, how you started off your day with string hoppers and all the condiments that go with it. But tell us what it's like to live a day in Kolu's life, and what do you do for the rest
But
of
I'll
your
tell
day?
you now, it's not as interesting as it used to be. At the moment I'm lying a bit low and not running around too much. But yet there's always something happening. I'm trying to do some new things. So there's always, somebody wants something done. Always it's food related where my work is concerned. And then I write off and on and get into things like that. So the day just flies. There's all kinds of things happening.
It always does.
Yeah, and I try to cut my social life a lot now. So
Oh, I see.
it's not as exciting as it was those
But I'm
days.
sure a lot of people are disappointed to hear that. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
I'm
liven up a
I'm
party.
very bit tired of this Colombo. The insincerity in this Colombo society is just something else, No, everybody's cutting everybody and now it's getting a bit boring hearing those stories,
All right. So I'm sure that, but I'm sure you'll be missed at any party because liven up the
Well, if
place
I
a
go,
bit.
I just go intent having a good time and I have a good time,
All right.
regardless of what the consequences are.
That's a great philosophy to live by.
I have a question on related to food, Kolu, because I'm very, I become very hungry every day, just as usual. So just want to ask, how would you describe what you cook? Is there any description that you would like to give to yourself when you start cooking?
Well, shall I put it? I prefer to cook proper wholesome food more than decorative food. I believe that taste is very important. Appearance, yes, has to be. You have time. Food can't look like you're locked, Right? It has to look nice, but sometimes you go to this place where there's such artistic food and then you go to eat it, it's either raw, it's just horrible taste, so there are no flavor. I love all that. I want a flavorful meal, and it should, so that every mouthful has to be nice. So that's a very important thing for me when it comes to food.
But so many housewives these days, they find that cooking is a chore. I mean, I'm not very
I think it's a modern
skilled.
housewife. It's a modern, as strange as you may say, I find that from 15 years back, we find that cooking has become a huge thing now. There are a lot of interest the programs and competitions and all these things has aroused
true.
people, and I must say, people who are in their late 20s are cooking now and baking. So you find hell of a lot of restaurants opening now. A lot of the pastry shops and all, and actually some of them are very good, some are not good, but some are very good, some can be.
And people are actually starting up businesses in their own homes and operating more out of, at
Out
the
of cottage
grassroots
industry,
level.
yeah,
Yes,
of
yeah,
course, yeah.
yes.
No, I have to say there's a big interest in cooking now, and actually it's people are proud to cook again. At one time there was a time of this thing, where our Colombo put their nose up and they knew all about food, or pretended they know all about food, but they never knowing how it came. It just appeared at the table, The snobbery was there, and we don't know how to cook, and we don't know. We have had people, who have told me, I really don't even know how to boil egg, But I think if you live alone, I'm sure if you ever live abroad, you have to learn to cook.
Of course.
So you have no choice, But no, the interest is coming back. So that's a great thing.
So what's the difference when you take the global context and Sri Lankan context? Do we really have potential superstars in the making?
I will tell you something. We have great talent here.
Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, we have great talent here. I have a staff who work excellent. Their taste buds are better than most chefs in the hotels.
I see.
Sadly, what they lack is the lack of conversation and to be convivial with somebody. So it's that
language barrier.
Language barrier is a great thing, and they don't know how to express themselves across. So it's a shame because there's a wealth of talent here. If you really train them, there are people who are learning to cook, and the staff I have trained, they're all from villages and wherever. They have had no formal hotel school education, nothing, but they can cook better than most people can. I know. I have 2 or 3 who are cooking much better than even I do now. So they assist me a lot. Because I'm now, got lazy of the cutting, chopping and cooking business. So I'm there watching them, but they create great things. There's a wealth of talent. It's just that they have to get their language in order, how to express themselves and be able to have a conversation. That's where they lack.
I would say this to somebody, Kolu, that normally in a Sri Lankan family, your parents want you to be a pilot or an engineer or a doctor. But when it comes to the world context, taking the globe into perspective, we find global chef superstars coming up. Why do you think a lot of Sri Lankans are backward in getting into the industry, and where do you see that?
I think a lot of people don't encourage the children to get into this industry.
Why do you think that
because I know a lot of people say, oh, my daughter or my son loves to cook, So I said, why don't you push? No, you must get a double degree and something. So when they go abroad and then they do the degrees and all that much, then it becomes secondary. So they forget what they really like to do. So it's very sad that a parent doesn't encourage someone to really cook, because if they're worried about making money, there's a lot of money if you really want to in this business. If you really put your heart and soul into it, it's quite a business. Plus you can travel, and it's immense. I mean, I have traveled all over the world cooking.
Of course.
So I don't know. So, but of course I have a wild lifestyle, but I'm a different person. But there is so much of scope, but parents are not encouraging their children to get into this field.
Follow your passion is the first thing that you
follow your passion. So of course you get to follow your passion. If you are rebellious enough to tell your parents, but all are intimidated by them, and then they push you around, and then they depend on their parents financially, so they are not willing to get.
We've had a good first half hour show. I really, really am excited for the next half as well. Amaya.
And in the next segment, we'll be speaking more about the wild lifestyle that Kolu has, like he mentioned.
And we have a rapid fire segment as well coming up, where we are going to focus solely on Kolu. We'll be asking some questions. You need to give quick answers for that, all right?
So we're going to have a great show. But before we go, I have to remind you about our Facebook page. You can go online on www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka. Like our page. We'd like to hear from you. And if you have any feedback, you can contact us at mtvsports@maharaja.lk. That's mtvsports@maharaja.lk if you want to tell us anything about our show, and we love hearing from you. So do stay tuned with us on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll be right back with Kolu.